Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew, man? We're back. Hey, we got a Patrick CC visual today, man. We got the death of mainstream. Are we talking like mainstream media? Because everything lives online now, and we got self-proclaimed critics. And nobody who has 100% either educated themselves, went beyond and beyond and studied the arts of certain things to be able to speak on it. Everybody feels nowadays that, you know what I'm saying, they can wake up one day out their couch and dive into whatever topic they want to talk about. Even like mainstream media as far as like journalism, even food critics. You know, back in the day, people actually had to like really become a food critic. You couldn't just wake up one day and say press record and now I'm gonna talk about whether or not your food is good or not, when you don't even understand the process of how to even cook a dish. You just say, well, it don't taste good to me. And that's the reason why, honestly, even with that, we be like, we don't take everybody's word for everything, because a lot of people don't know what they talking about.
Sure.
They be like, I taste this. You know, I don't even taste that shit, bro. They be trying to, or like even music. Everybody feels like they can critique music with no education or no background in it. Even journalism, nobody has true reporting knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Even movie critics, people like, oh, whether or not a movie good or not, and they don't even understand the aspect of cinema. So, I don't know. We are seeing, or are we talking about as far as the distribution of entertainment? It's plethora of ways you can go about this, man. But hey, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
like it with a thumbs up.
Let's see how you going to break this down, man. Let's get it. What up, Pat? Let's go.
There is more high quality content available than ever before, and yet most people feel like there is something missing. There was once a time where it felt like we were all on the same wavelength when it came to entertainment and pop culture. Everything felt more impactful. Movies were bigger. Music spread further. Famous people were actually famous. Awards meant something. And if there was a shocking story in the news, it was impossible to miss. It was much easier to have your finger on the pulse of pop culture, and it created this bond that we had together as strangers. And we took it for granted, because now that bond is gone, the world of entertainment, music, movies, shows, social media feels oversaturated, confusing, and dull. I bet most of you can relate to this. How many times these days does someone say to you, hey, did you hear about, or hey, did you see? And not only is your answer no, but you literally have no idea what they are talking about.
Facts.
Life wasn't always like that. What we are missing today and for the past few years is a monoculture, which is essentially one culture that all Americans are connected to. Sometimes I even call it the death of mainstream, because nothing really feels mainstream anymore. Every decade had their own version of monoculture that was seemingly easily defined. But what will define the 2020s? Monoculture is dead. And for anyone watching this that's like a teenager or younger, it means nothing because they can't relate to that experience. But literally anyone older than that remembers their version of monoculture and probably misses it because it represents a much more simple time. Every generation before Gen Alpha had limited options for entertainment, and they thought it was a burden, flipping through TV channels saying, oh, there's nothing to watch. But now our options are infinite. 3.7 million YouTube videos uploaded every day, one streaming service with every song ever made, and 100,000 new songs being uploaded every day. Dozens of subscription services with thousands of movies and TV shows, a literal endless singular feed of short form videos that one can spend hours without realizing the time has passed. And despite having access to all of this content, a lot of us feel bored and disconnected from each other. Well, today I want to talk about that feeling. That feeling like something is missing. I believe it is tied to the death of monoculture. So let's dive into how we got here, where it went wrong, and actually why some of you might consider it to be a good thing. Entertainment has always evolved based on the available technology. The easier it is to consume, the less impactful it is. Movie theater ticket sales had their all-time peak in the US in 1946. Over 90 million weekly admissions were recorded, which means that about 60% of the US population went to go see a movie that year. Now, were movies objectively better in 1946? Absolutely not. There were just less of them, and less entertainment overall. The introduction of the television likely slowed down movie ticket sales, but opened up a whole new opportunity for entertainment. Cartoons, sitcoms, and of course, ads. Television has its limitations. You had to watch the show at the exact time it aired, or you missed it and had to wait for someone to tell you what happened the next day. Or even worse, you had to read this book called the TV Guide to figure out when they were going to air a rerun.
I ain't gonna hold you. TV Guide used to be lit, bro.
I used to love.
People literally used to bring the TV Guide to school and just flip through. And you, at one point, you was lit because you had a TV Guide.
Yeah.
And for, ooh, let me see the TV Guide. What's coming on? Be like, man, nah, bro. Like, it ain't my fault you ain't got no TV Guide subscription, bro. Like that was some lit shit at one point, bro. Like, even magazines, bro. Like, we literally used to enjoy reading. Like, ooh, bro. Like. No matter what it is, pop culture, bro, literally, I'm finna tell you, like, how dope it was to read back in the day. Bro, we would literally go on the computer, print off lyrics, and actually fucking bring them to school and pass them around to learn the lyrics. And you sit there and read the lyrics so you can know the lyrics to your favorite song. And everybody can sing and rap it together. Like, that was things. Nowadays, people just they just isolate themselves. Like it's like we live in such an isolated world where you can just be tuned into your phone, and that's another problem with socialization. Is that everybody's so tuned into their phones, where they don't even socialize over music, over this. Instead of like we talking about our favorite songs or what was on 106 Apart last night. Oh, did you see 106 Apart? Yeah, we actually talked about it. Now they just sit there. And y'all be in a group and you just, like, don't get it twisted. We had CDs. We had cassette players. You had whatever. You had MP3s. We went through the whole age period of mobile devices of being able to listen, but you knew also how to socialize. And I think with having cell phones and everything is in the palm of your hand, people sit beside each other, be texting each other. And won't even, like, literally communicate. They'll just be sitting. And they literally right beside each other. True. That's sad, though.
Plus, there were only a few channels, so competition for attention was fierce. But that also meant that millions of people were watching the same thing at the same time. With most households operating on 9-to-5 work schedules, the only time carved out to entertain yourself was between 7 and 10. This was known as prime time, and that's when the few good shows were on. Families watched the same things together, and a new episode airing at 8 p.m. on a weeknight could dominate school hallways and office break rooms the next day. Worst case scenario, you could stay up for late night television where Letterman would catch you up on all your pop culture news. We were connected as humans, kind of operating on the same wavelength, and the entertainment added to our humanity. That is, unless you were entirely disinterested from the few available shows and movies, then you had no other options, your life sucked, and you were looking for other forms of entertainment like heroin. But at least back then, it didn't have fentanyl in it. But the way people consumed movies and television stayed relatively the same for decades. By the 1970s, 95% of households had a TV in it. And then in the 80s and 90s, there was a massive uptick in available...
Or, Pat, you forgot, they used to sit beside the radio and listen to the radio together. Or they actually talked about their day. Hey, how's your day going? Or, hey, how was your day? And people literally would talk about their day. That's before our time. And so now, when growing up, we used to come home and your mom used to ask you, hey, how was your day? It was whatever. But that's what they grew up on. Their parents
asked. Answer, I was whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, that's cool, whatever. How you used to answer when your mom
asked? I'm talking, baby. I'm talking.
Mom, this is, yeah.
Let me tell you what happened today.
Yeah. But they grew up on their parents asking them, how did their day go? And that's how they were discussing, find out what's going on, like, or how was work, and actually, you know.
5% of households had a TV in it. And then in the 80s and 90s, there was a massive uptick in available entertainment, like an entire TV channel dedicated to showing music videos or an entire channel dedicated to showing cartoons. But even with more niche options, primetime shows still dominated pop culture, and Americans still felt a sense of togetherness through a somewhat limited availability. Is music not hitting the same anymore? Doesn't it feel like you used to have a connection with others based on a shared love for the same music? Well, music had a similar permeating connection to monoculture with a few key differences. For most of the 20th century, music was somewhat of a luxury. Today, for $15 a month, you can get access to every song ever made and 100,000 new ones uploaded daily. $15 used to get you one album, and you had to take your happy ass to a record store and physically buy it. And if the album was in high enough demand, they might not actually have it. And that seems like a dumb thing to say, but in our modern culture, entertainment is never not available to you. These stores often had a strong sense of community and served as a gathering place for music fans. It wasn't unusual for artists to stop in and play mini concerts or sign albums before an appearance in a particular city. When people bought an album, they were now invested. They worked hard for that money. So to get the value back, they actually listened to the whole thing. They even tried to like the songs that they didn't initially like because they paid for it, which ultimately made them appreciate the artistry on a different depth.
Facts, bro. And I feel like you actually really had to have talent and not notoriety. Like, just because you had notoriety, your album would sit there.
Yeah.
If you tried to, like, because times have changed so much. And I feel like that's the reason why the quality of so much has dumbed down.
Yeah.
It's because people who don't, like, people, you have to actually have a passion to go into, whether it's acting, music, modeling, any design, or whatever you wanted to do. That's the reason why the quality of certain things were good. It's because also people failed to get it until they got it right.
Yeah.
Nobody came out the gate and just said, hey, I'm going to have a clothing line because I have a notoriety.
Yeah.
And then they get a clothing line. Or, hey, I'm going to start singing or rapping because I have a notoriety. No, you had to get your ass out there and work. You had to sing. People had to preach. You know what I'm saying? You had to gain that fan base, gain that appreciation. People were singing on corners, singing at talent shows, singing at this, and people were like, oh, your ass up, or you had potential, you just need to work on it.
Right.
Nowadays, a popular streamer or a popular TikToker feel like, oh, I can make a song, I can transform this audience into this. They have no passion for it. And that's why that music be ass.
That's true.
You know, like, and even acting. You know, every time I see, like, a movie that's, like, backed by social media influencers, I be like, it's going to be ass. And then 9 times out of 10, it do turn out ass. It's because these people don't have a passion. They have, like, a drive to be, like, to act. They just want to be able to transform to something else to benefit them. They don't go through the acting classes. They don't go through, like a lot of people used to have to go from acting classes to this Broadway before they could even get onto a TV screen. You know what I'm saying? Do commercials, do all the low budget things before they can elevate
Actually
to
put
that.
in the work.
Yeah, put in the groundwork.
Yeah.
Or even model.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it feels so, everything feels so oversaturated nowadays. And the quality has, like, depleted.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, like, where's the essence gonna come back? And I think we too far gone from it, though.
This uninterrupted focus on the music built a deeper connection from the fans to the artist. Fans had to imagine what their favorite musicians were like based on lyrics, a few interviews, and carefully staged photographs in magazines or posters on their wall. There was a mystique. Pop stars felt larger than life, almost like fictional characters, which is why people would pass out at the mere sight of Michael Jackson. Today we have
Do you think we missing that today?
Yeah.
The mystique?
Yeah.
Because, like, even, like influencers, right? A lot of people don't know when to fucking turn the camera off.
Yeah.
And everything is for, whether it's for a clip or everything's a troll or everything is so gimmicky. Like even us, so many people hit us up to be like, oh, y'all need to vlog. Like, appreciate what we do, man. Like, come here, appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you watch a lot of our videos, it's not just about the video we watch. And sometimes we understand depending on the video, but we also like to give insight, not because, but it's like also giving y'all an introduction to who we are without y'all having, bro, we're not vlogging, bro. We live in an area where ain't much shit to do, bro. What you want to see me go to the grocery store, bro? I go to the grocery store like 3 times. I'm just household supplies, groceries, or something I forgot. It ain't that much shit.
I'm a homebody. I'm not doing too much of anything anyway.
Now, if I was in college, it was different.
I turn up, but when I ain't turning up too much these days.
Also, a lot of times when we're around people where we're having fun and all that stuff, the last thing I'm thinking about is picking up a phone or a camera or whatever.
Like I'm in the moment.
I don't even capture photos because I just want to enjoy it. And we come back again later on and talk about all the such a great time we had. And dang, bro, we like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was about to say something. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, I think that was the thing. Like growing up and like the artists or the actors or whatever the case may be, like, you know, the celebrities growing up or whatever. I think that's what made me personally kind of like, I guess, appreciate them or
it was this mystique.
Yeah, it was like I don't like your quality of work spoke for itself. Yeah. I didn't have to see you every 2 seconds. You didn't have to be in our face every 2 seconds. You come, you do put your work out. Like he said, you do a couple interviews, whatever. You in a magazine, and you go on. But the work, like that's what we wanted. That's what we needed. Like that's what it was about. But now I feel like everyone is just like
want 24/7 access.
And I'm like, and then after a while, like, you know, to say like out of sight, out of mind. But back then it wasn't like
it was always about quality.
Like, yeah, I feel like out of sight, but I want to miss you at the same time. Like I want to like.
Because I say this, like, at the end of the day, content creation is a lot different with that. I say this, with content creation, no matter who you are and what you do, if you gave people 4 to 5 hours of your day every day, that still gives them enough time where they can miss you. Because it's only 4 or 5 hours. You do exactly what you come to do. You don't have to give people... I don't know. I think people thrive off their attention. People seek... Because you like with what you're saying is you can use that again, like with us. We upload every day. Some people have to upload every day because of how the algorithm works and how all this stuff works. If you're not out there every day, only person I know for a fact that can go away and come back on social media is Corey. Literally leave the platform for months and come back like he's like old style drop. Everybody doesn't have that following. Everybody don't have the fan base yet. A lot of people nowadays, y'all, everybody is out there for themselves. People watch you 24/7, won't hit the subscribe button, won't tune in. And I'm like, we done had people like, man, I done watch y'all for a whole year, I ain't hit the subscribe button. Why? You've been watching us for a year, just subscribe, bro. But also it's just on that part. But you need the people to support you to actually support. You know what I'm saying? That too. But Corey is the only person I've seen literally who can dip off and come back, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like if you were, because I'm somebody who really studies the platform, right? If you're not like on these platforms for like all the time, you will never grow. And literally, if you don't have at least 1 million, you can't take a day or 2 off. And your stuff don't be messed up in the algorithm. It's just from I literally study this, and I've seen people where they don't get the same traction if they ain't got 1 million subscribers.
Characters, which is why people would pass out at the mere sight of Michael Jackson. Today we have countless interviews and endless access to all of their thoughts and opinions on social media. That mystery is gone. Artists are more accessible than ever, and because of that, they feel less special. And since music was basically a luxury, most people didn't have tons of disposable income to buy every release they wanted to listen to, so they typically resorted to listening to the radio or watching MTV. You couldn't just search your favorite Guns N' Roses song and get that instant gratification. You had to turn on MTV and just wait for it to come on, but in the meantime, you were consuming tons of other good songs that made you a more well-rounded music listener. And that was the same predicament for everyone. So at school dances, parties, or clubs, everyone felt connected because the songs that were being played were the ones that everyone had the same access to. A lot of club DJs today still mostly play music from the 2010s, and a lot of people wonder why they aren't playing more modern music. Like, are we all crippled by nostalgia? Well, not necessarily, but when you play music from the 2010s, you can kind of guarantee that everyone in the club is going to know those songs. Whereas today, everyone just listens to vastly different music. What's considered extremely popular and mainstream to you might literally not be considered extremely popular and mainstream to the person next to you.
That is so true, because even when I used to DJ, like, I used to have, like, people that I personally knew be like, hey, you DJing this weekend? I'd be like, yeah, can you play one of my songs? I'm like, no.
I want their songs that they...
Yeah, like, I know a lot of, like, artists that wanted to be up-and-coming artists, and I can't play your music. Because if I play your music, this is what the crowd gonna do. And now, now I look like an ass-ass DJ. Just because you want some type of self-gratitude. Like, I can't put myself out there. And then people catch an attitude like that. Like, you gotta play what the people like. And what the people like is what's popular. Everybody, majority of the crowd knows. So you have to be kind of tuned into what's on the radio. Because I used to, and that's is also depending on where you're located. Because I used to listen to demographics from all over. I listened to the DMV. When I was younger, I was a huge New York fan, like New York sound. And I wasn't really in tune with the South where I'm from. I knew what it was, but I was like, man, I like the lyricist part. But I know I can't play that in a party. Everybody trying to have fun, they just want to turn up. Midwest, I'm listening to Midwest artists, LA artists. It's just, you got to play what's on the radio. And then people are mad, like, oh, they always keep playing the same song. You can't play anything else because you got to understand that, you know. It sucks though, but that's just the times we live in.
Today, we have unlimited access to every song ever made. When a new song or album drops, it is just right there in your phone. You don't have to talk to anyone, don't have to buy it, don't have to wait. Most of the time, the artist is actually begging you to listen to it, or you accidentally found out about it. You didn't even want to discover it. Most people have resorted to just letting the algorithm decide what music to recommend to them because it's easier than doing all of the effort I just talked about before. Combine this lack of mono connectivity through music, requiring absolutely no effort to get access to the music, as well as artists not having the star power due to overexposure, and surprise, music holds absolutely no value to the average casual listener. Once we entered the 2000s, the rapid advancement of available technology caused a dominant monoculture to become more fragmented. TVs were becoming cheaper, bigger, and higher quality. The internet was getting faster, becoming easier to access and navigate. Cell phones were in everyone's pocket. We were becoming more connected than ever, but we didn't realize it was actually going to drive us further apart. In my opinion, 2000 to 2010 was a great sweet spot for pop culture. I would describe today's culture as everything all at once, and the early 2000s was the same, but it was slightly more manageable. Let's start simple. Movies. Here's a graph of every movie released per year around the world. You can see the quantity of movies released remained relatively the same from the early 1970s to the late 1990s, and it just started slowly ramping up in the 2000s before it exponentially exploded. Back then, there was a rhythm to it all. You'd get 2 or 3 massive blockbusters every summer, movies like Spider-Man, Pirates of the Caribbean, or The Dark Knight, which dominated culture for weeks. As fall and winter rolled in, you'd see smaller budget, more experimental, or just simple films rise to the surface. Movies like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Little Miss Sunshine, Juno, and Requiem for a Dream. Everyone kind of knew what was coming and when it was coming, and that predictability created a shared sense of anticipation. Even smaller budget films had a shot at becoming massive, and the reason they had a shot was because people actually went to the theaters. Our last peak in movie theater ticket sales was in 2002 when 1.5 billion tickets were sold. But even if you didn't go to the theater, we had these really cool things called DVDs, where you could buy the movie that you missed, and watch it at home. And if you didn't want to commit to buying it, no worries. You could rent the film for a few bucks by going to this magical place called Blockbuster. This is a store where you could essentially browse all of the movies that you didn't get the chance to see. You would actually talk to the employee who worked there, and they would give you a recommendation or tell you what everyone else is renting. Sometimes a movie
or you can rent a game. I used to rent games too.
Was in such high demand that all of their copies would be rented and you couldn't get it. Imagine that. Imagine
that was true, bro. You used to go to the be like, damn, it's out. Well, put my name on the list so when y'all get it in.
Return,
And so do you want to see anything else? Yeah. What else then came out this week? Or you find a movie that came out a year or two ago. I wanted to see this. I never saw this. And just get it for the weekend.
One you actually want to see.
And then you order pizza or something, and everybody hang out for the weekend. You know.
Yeah.
Any form of entertainment being unavailable for you today. Scarcity created demand, and it made the film more exciting. It made you want to watch it more. Most of those crappy yet special early 2000s comedies were the perfect films to pick up at a Blockbuster, and people loved that place. The company earned $5 billion in revenue in 2004. The point is that you and everyone around you had this physical connection with the entertainment and was actively using their brain to choose what they wanted to consume. TV still had a somewhat similar rhythm in the 2000s. Primetime was still valuable airtime. MTV was in its best era, in my opinion, having a plethora of terrible yet oddly captivating reality TV shows and experimental series, while still having their sister network, MTV2, play music videos.
That's the one the dude you went to. Yeah, the dude you went to school with. Yeah. Okay. It was True Life. Okay.
4/7. It was one of the most versatile eras for mainstream music, with lyrical rap, crunk rap, rock, emo rock, country, pop, EDM, R&B, and countless other genres in a healthy rotation on MTV and the radio. It was just on the cusp of being overwhelming, but having it all contained on MTV and VH1 made it still manageable to keep up with. Kids were absolutely consumed by Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, and Cartoon Network, which were 3 separate networks that each had 2 to 3 shows worth paying attention to in their respective eras. We still had a healthy separation between our personal lives and our school and work life from 9 to 5, only entertaining ourselves lightly in the morning and in the evenings. We didn't have a phone to distract us from literally every millisecond of boredom. The entertainment options still felt limited enough that you could feel like everyone around you was on the same wavelength. Plus, we were still at the mercy of knowing the schedule of when new shows were going to air. But that started to die when cable companies provided DVR capabilities. You could now record your favorite shows and movies and watch them later whenever you wanted. This was the beginning of the streaming service era takeover that so many people today loathe. Today, you may feel like you are not as connected to the culture because 1, less people are going to the theaters, and 2, the DVD and TV business has been demolished by streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, etc. Being able to stream anything, anywhere, anytime, all while being alone in your room means there's no anticipation, no excitement, nobody to share the experience with, and therefore no real reason to watch, which is why you simply scroll and scroll through endless choices, waiting for something to magically grab your attention, waiting for something to give you a reason to watch, but it just never happens. On a lighter note, every now and again, we do have a monoculture moment. I think back to the Barbie movie where girls were excited to dress in all pink and drag their boyfriends to the theaters, only for the guys to immediately after drag their girls to see Oppenheimer, where I'm assuming many of them fell asleep. I think back to Squid Games, where it felt like everyone and their mother was blindsided by this dystopian critique of capitalism disguised as a up game show. As far as films go, it feels like it's only every couple of years where there is a moment that we are all in sync, when it used to be literally all year, every year. I can't even remember the last time music had a monoculture moment. I mean, sure, radio is still kind of relevant. TikTok.
Last year. And it was a slight moment, but it was the Drake and Kendrick beef. And everybody was like, oh, have you heard this? Have you heard the Drake? But that was like, I feel like if you wasn't tuned into like social media, you wasn't tuning in. Like if you ask them, like my sister, your sister, they probably won't tune in like that.
So can you count that though?
To a degree, but not like where everybody and their mama, you know what I'm saying? like back in the day, if a Denzel Washington movie came out, everybody and their mama was going to see it. So they can talk about it, you know what I'm saying? Or certain movies came out. I remember when the first Spider-Man came out and everybody, you gotta watch Spider-Man. So we could, everybody, be on one accord. But not like, you know what I'm saying? But if like culturally, I do think last year, like the Kendrick and Drake beef, but that was
slight. I agree with
you.
To
a degree.
That was pretty slight though.
Yeah, to a degree. But nobody is anticipating the album.
Yeah.
And talking about the albums and like, you know what I'm saying? It's because everybody don't know who's going to tune in. And everybody wants to be the odd man out nowadays where, y'all listen to this? Oh, I listen to this person. They underground. They're the next thing to blow. Yeah. Like, no, none of y'all are good at discovering music or discovering artists. If so, a label will hire y'all because that's money to be made. You discovering somebody who nobody knows that's actually good, there's hella money to be made. But also, that's the quality of the music, though. There's no new artists, really. We get one every blue moon that's like, okay, they got potential.
Yeah.
Made popular songs more popular, but there's so much music all over the place all the time that I don't even know what anybody's listening to anymore. For TV, Yellowstone, Severance, White Lotus, Love Island, I mean, they are extremely popular, but can we say everyone is watching those shows? Will those shows define this era? I bet there are a ton of you watching that are like, I didn't watch a single one of those shows. The irony of it all is that the death of a unified culture everyone seems to be feeling came with our pursuit to be more connected than ever before. Because the adaptation of the internet and social media into our everyday lives was the nail in the coffin for monoculture. By the turn of the century, everyone with extra cash had a computer somewhere in the house. Our parents were using them to basically replace what the newspaper did for decades. As the desktops and internet connection got faster, we looked at forums, chatted through AOL Instant Messenger, played simple flash games on Newgrounds, and even bid on random antiques from eBay. Being connected to random people all over the world was beautiful. You were no longer limited to the thoughts, beliefs, and interests of those in your geographical location. The internet was still somewhat difficult to navigate. There was a time when Google didn't have all the answers. You had to check other search engines like Yahoo and my favorite, Ask Jeeves, to find...
Bro, that's what... You remember I had brought that up in the video and I was like, this is the search engine we grew up on. You had to use Ask Jeeves.
And I don't know why I always be forgetting about it.
Bro,
I don't know why.
www.ask.com, bro.
I don't know why I always... Yes.
And you just ask Jeeves and he had the answers for you.
He had the answers for you, child.
Bro, if you took computer class in the early 2000s, bro, you use Ask Jeeves, bro. That's the only search engine, bro. You had to go through that. Then you had to go through YouTube, get on YouTube through it. Because YouTube used to be banned.
You were looking for. Videos would take forever to load, the quality was often terrible, and sometimes just straight up didn't work. Using the internet kind of felt like exploring uncharted land. That friction, scarcity, and lack of instant gratification was what made it special. It was worth working for. Today, we just expect things to work. We demand convenience, and we are willing to give up our human autonomy for it. Initially, the entertainment industry as a whole saw the internet as a threat because of piracy. Suddenly, millions of people could download movies, music, and TV shows for free through networks like Napster, LimeWire, and torrent sites, completely bypassing traditional revenue models. Studios, labels, and networks feared the collapse of their business structures, as physical sales and TV deals were at the risk of being replaced. The internet stripped them of control, and for the first time, the consumer had the power to access content without paying a cent. From the consumer's perspective, the logic was simple. Why pay for something when you can get it for free instantly? Piracy wasn't just about being cheap, it was about convenience. Buying a CD or DVD meant going to a store, spending $10 to $20, and hoping you'd like the full album or movie. Then again,
but I ain't gonna hold you. You get on them LimeWire, Pirate Bay, download that virus. Now the computer gone. So that's when everybody had them a bootleg dude. Had bootleg CDs or bootleg DVDs.
My brother always just messed the computer up.
$5 for a CD.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or you had to find that person that was willing to burn CDs, man. I
hit my little person in school.
I used to burn CDs. I was the CD burner dude.
Or spending $10 to $20 and hoping you'd like the full album or movie. Then again, people didn't realize the nuanced value of the additional human experiences they got while consuming entertainment. All that driving to the store, talking to people, limited inventory, sitting on a sticky theater seat, that was all just considered to be an inconvenient cost to getting what you wanted. But you couldn't argue against the value that the internet brought to individuals. It gave everyone a voice, a platform, and endless options tailored exactly to their preferences. And that ramped up significantly in 2003 when MySpace became the first widely accepted platform for social media. By 2005, the platform had around 300 million users and had an estimated valuation of over $10 billion. The platform allowed people to share their personal passions and stories as individuals. If nobody in your real life aligned with your interests, you would be able to find a community of like-minded people online. People started calling random strangers on the internet their friends. They became invested in their lives, wanting to know what they were doing in their geographical location. Your connection to random people around the world started to make you disconnected from those physically around you. Slowly, the digital world began to feel more important than the physical one. As platforms evolved, first with Facebook, then Instagram, and eventually TikTok, the focus shifted even further away from a shared experience and towards personal branding. Algorithms were designed not to connect people as a whole, but to keep you personally engaged, feeding you content you already agreed with or found entertaining. The internet became less of a town square and more of an echo chamber, reflecting only your own tastes, beliefs, and biases back at you, just so you wouldn't click off the app. Social media stopped being about community and became a stage where everyone was the main character of their own story. It made individuals feel more powerful than ever, which could be considered a good thing, but it also created a cultural landscape more narcissistic, divisive, and isolated than any era in history. So the reason why movies, TV, YouTube, social media, and literally all other forms of entertainment don't feel the same is a combination of really complicated nuances. However, with a shift in mentality, you could look at all of this as a good thing. If you are a strong-minded individual, introverted, or just someone who doesn't really care about a sense of community and those around you, you are in the golden ages. For decades, if you didn't fit into the narrow lens of what the mainstream deemed valuable, if you didn't like the biggest pop star, or wear the right clothes, or relate to the 5 TV shows everyone else watched, you were invisible. You had nowhere to go. You were the weird kid, the quiet one, the one who didn't belong. But now, the internet gives you infinite options to find belonging, and literally any interest you may have, no matter how unique it is, chances are there is a niche community where someone like you isn't just accepted, you're celebrated. Do you like wolves eating watermelons? So do 61,000 other people. Do you like stapling bread to trees? So do 335,000 other people. Today, a girl who was once mocked in school for drawing anime characters in her notebook can become a full-time artist with a fan base of thousands or millions. A kid who was laughed at for making weird songs on his cracked BandLab app can go viral on TikTok and then chart on the Spotify Viral 50. A filmmaker with no connections and no budget can put their short film on YouTube and have it resonate with millions of people around the world. These stories were impossible in the monoculture era because the gatekeepers decided what was and what wasn't. Before the internet, independence was next to impossible, and today the gatekeepers have less power than ever. So maybe entertainment feels more chaotic, more overwhelming, and less special. Maybe we are no longer all connected under a simple, easy to navigate monoculture, but there is more opportunity than ever for a small independent creator to get a taste of that success. And for consumers, if you know what your interests are and do not let algorithms decide what you want to watch and are willing to do the tedious task to actively get outside of the echo chamber that these algorithms are trying to hold you in and find that one quality YouTuber or that one underrated Hulu series, then you are probably completely fine with today's entertainment climate. Build your own world. Who cares about community? This is your life. Now, I personally go back and forth on my feelings towards the death of monoculture. I don't personally feel drowned out in content. Since I have terrible movie and TV taste, I will watch just about anything as long as there is a decent premise for the plot. As far as music goes, I'm totally willing to put in the grind to find my new favorite artist, and I'm actually one of those annoying people who kind of starts to dislike someone when they get more famous. So I actively look for underrated talent, and Spotify and social media makes that a million times easier and more convenient. But at the same time, I do miss that sense of monoculture. I play a lot of golf, and when I meet new people, I've had countless conversations that lead nowhere because we have absolutely nothing in common due to being stuck in totally different algorithmic echo chambers. Sometimes the golfers don't even watch golf, so I'm just like, how's the weather? And obviously I'm a creator, so I'm benefiting from a system that was created for me to succeed. And because of my feelings going back and forth, my channel is somewhat a reflection of the lack of and yearning for an entertainment monoculture. My YouTube channel is kind of like a 2000s MTV inspired hodgepodge of modern pop culture. Firstly, I'm reliable, posting every Monday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And every week we talk about something pop culture related. Sometimes it's music, sometimes it's film, sometimes it's internet personalities, sometimes it's a comedian, action sports star, politics. The modern YouTube algorithm wants you to keep making the same video over and over with the same thumbnails and dominate one specific niche, which is why you see so many successful channels being repetitive, because that is literally what works. I try to keep a balance. And because of that, some videos get more views than others, some videos bomb, but I hope you enjoy me keeping that old early 2000s variety. You can come to my channel to keep you updated with modern pop culture and feel some tiny slice of that monoculture we all used to love. Also, this was kind of a different style of video for my channel. I usually stick to documentaries that are objective and fact-based, but recently I've just kind of been wanting to switch it up a little bit. So I'll be looking at the comments to see what you guys think about this more conceptual or think piece rant type of video. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Monday.
Good job, Vid.
I enjoyed it.
Good vid.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
But yeah, like even with us, man, like I like the variety that we do. You know what I'm saying? Now I do know, like on the extra dose, there's a video that we do like daily. It's body cams, right? But we still try to give you very much so the variety of things that we used to do on the main channel, Kid and C channel, that just is like, because we don't want to stop doing it, but we start doing other things, and we're like, all right, we don't have a space for this to come out because we do only 3 videos. So we were like, all right, let's take that over there. Yeah. And still try to have it, like, still that variety. Like, hey, it's one video that's going to be random. What's random we going to get today? But I know I can count on the body count. And we try our best to stay consistent with the time. But due to sometimes with technology, things get delayed or something. We all human at the end of the day, and we can't control certain aspects that happen. So you might get an hour or two late, or you know, and then we might have something where we got over abundance of, and we're like, hey, here go y'all 3 or 4 videos over here on extra dose, and the same way with the Kid and C channel. But for the most part, you know, you can count on consistency. You can count on the time, and you know what you tune in. Like, we do try to, like, change it up sometimes. Like, hey, I know we normally do this. Like, let's surprise them. Hey, here y'all go. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think variety is the best thing. I don't like to be put in a box, and this is all you know me for. Because we've been there. Yeah. Like, but one thing we have constantly done since being on this platform, and constantly being open to change. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We started off doing music. Went from music to doing comedy. Then somebody introduced us to memes. We started doing memes. Somebody introduced us to anime. We started doing anime. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we're very open individuals that don't mind
switching it up. Yeah. Doing other things outside of what we consider our norm.
Yeah. So that's why you see all plethora type of things, man. Yeah. But hey, y'all spam us up. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comment section down below. You got anything else you want to say?
I'm good.
But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ the Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are.
Kid and
We are.
Time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar, 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 dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar, 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 dollar. Let me watch out for my pocket.